Welcome to the Miracle of Prosperity. I'm your host, Reverend Jim Webb, author of the book, The Soul of Prosperity, as well as Create Your Self-Manifesting Vision Board, 30 P's to Prosperity, and Prosperity from A to Z. It's an honor and pleasure to be here with you tonight, and as you know, each Sunday night at 8 o'clock, we work with different aspects of prosperity, and we look at many different ways that we can cultivate the consciousness of prosperity within us that shows up in our outer world as professional prosperity, as relationship prosperity, as spiritual prosperity, as financial prosperity, and logistical prosperity, where our lives are easy to navigate without struggle. And so this week, we're going to work with making conscious choices for prosperity. And this is an intriguing subject for me because many of us think that prosperity is a series of lucky breaks that happen, when in truth, prosperity is a series of conscious choices that we make. Quite often, we make unconscious choices that may be good in the short run, or unconscious choices that may be reflective of a feeling of undeservingness. And these unconscious choices create conflict and deter us from our prosperity. But we can make conscious choices that allow and enable our prosperity. And we're going to look at some of the many ways that we can do this tonight, here on the Miracle of Prosperity. And it's not just me. I have a special guest tonight, and I'm honored to have her. She's been a guest before, and she's so multi-talented that we wanted to explore this subject with her as well. Xonna Clark is the founder of Soul Resonant Wellness, and she is a success coach that helps many balance their life and their work so that their minds and their hearts are harmonized, and in this harmony they can allow prosperity in every aspect of their lives. And as you know, A Course in Miracles says all things are lessons God would have us learn. And so this path of coaching for her was a path of coaching based on her own process, her own journey, and her own healing, where she had to harmonize her mind and her heart. And she had to come into a different work-life balance. She went to Harvard Law, and she was a high-powered corporate attorney. And some things happened in her life to cause her to make different conscious choices. And she's never been happier. She's never been more productive. She's never been more joyful and more filled with life. And so she then, given her experience, has now coached thousands in how they can have work-life balance and how they too can align their heads and their hearts so that they are no longer in conflict, but instead are in harmony and therefore can allow all kinds of prosperity. So welcome, Xonna.
Thank you, Reverend Jim. That was a wonderful introduction. I was almost like, who is that person? So thank you very much for that.
Oh, you are so welcome, and we're so glad to have you back. And I didn't get a chance to delve much into your story on your last appearance of the Miracle of Prosperity. And your story is so fascinating to me because it speaks to your ministry, it speaks to your coaching and healing practice. So you were on this fast track in life, and you had a life changing experience that caused you to look at prosperity in a broader way. Because although on some levels you were prosperous, on others you were miserable. And something happened to bring that into clear relief for you. Do you want to share a little bit more about what caused you to move on to this path?
Yes, thank you for that question. And this is a subject that is near and dear to my heart. Um, I first just want to correct one fact, which
Okay.
is that I graduated from Harvard's undergraduate program and
Oh, okay.
University of Pennsylvania's law school.
Oh,
Uh,
you went to Penn?
yes, I did.
I didn't know that. You
Yes,
know
I
who else went to
did.
Penn? You know
Uh,
who else went to Penn?
who? You?
Some dude named Reverend Jim Webb. I'm not going to tell you the year I graduated, and I'm not going to ask your year. But I remember the law school on 34th and Chestnut. Who knows? We may
Exactly.
have seen each other.
We may
Was it
have.
34th and Chestnut or 36th and
No,
Chestnut
you
where the law
have it. It
school
was
was?
34th and Chestnut. So
34th and Chestnut.
obviously
Okay.
right there. So
Yes.
I,
Okay.
I love that. But
Yes.
yeah, this topic is very near and dear to my heart because it very much is about making conscious choices versus unconscious choices. And
Hmm.
I felt that the first 2/3 of my life until I was in my 40s was
Hmm.
more about making unconscious choices. And they were
Yes.
unconscious choices because I was really striving after somebody else's definition of success, probably since I was
Yes.
about the age of 13. And I
Yes.
was striving to achieve the grades that ultimately did get me into Harvard undergrad and UPenn's law
And Penn
school
Law.
and become a
Yes.
corporate lawyer. Um,
Hmm.
and I was following this path, this dream, American dream of
Hmm.
success. And by
Yes.
most people's accounts, yes, I got there, right? I had the
Yes.
job, the big corporate job, flying around the world, and the big
Yes.
house, and the white picket fence, and the dog, and,
And the BMW in the driveway. Amen.
and the BMWs. And although in my case it was the Saab. So,
Okay.
but we have these things that we think are signs of success, signs of
Yes.
prosperity.
Yes.
But then all along the way, we get these hints, we get these
Mm.
messages from the universe
Hmm.
that we're maybe not on the path, and we're
Or maybe prosperity in this regard is robbing us from our overall prosperity.
from
Or
true.
maybe we're prosperous here and miserable there.
Exactly, exactly. And that's what I was experiencing. In my
Okay.
case, it was showing up in my body. And in most
Okay.
people's case, often that's where we first start to hear these messages. And they
Hmm.
show up as symptoms, they show up as stress, right?
Hmm.
They show up as anxiety, as
Hmm.
depression, as not being able to sleep. And then they
Yes.
start showing up as maybe, in my case, prediabetes and then
Oh.
hypertension. And
Uh-huh.
then one day I found myself in an oncologist's office where before I'd
Mm.
even had a biopsy, he was like spewing the word cancer 25 times in like 10
Mm.
minutes. And yeah, I literally counted because I was so appalled that this was
Right.
happening.
And
I
you
just,
hadn't even had your biopsy yet to know what it was.
exactly,
Mm.
exactly. But I
Mm.
found myself on this path. And then I had to listen. When I walked
Mm.
out of that oncologist's office, I realized that I was on the same kind of path that my oldest brother had been on, striving
Okay.
for success. But in
Yes.
his case, he had not listened to these messages, and
Hmm.
he died of a heart attack at only 42.
Oh
And
my.
42, very young. And I was actually 42 at this time when I had this epiphany. So,
Oh.
yes, it forced me to look at the choices that I had been unconsciously making
Yes.
and find that inner strength to then
Yes.
consciously start making different choices.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes. And wonderful. And tell us what conscious choices you made that caused your life to look different.
Yeah. So I put them in two buckets now that I've walked the process myself
Mm-hmm.
for about the last like almost 20 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And I've also taught, as you said, many, 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 like hundreds and hundreds of clients,
Uh-huh.
thousands of client hours, these things. And I
Yes.
really put them in kind of two real buckets.
Okay.
One is that you have to focus on your health. And
Mm-hmm.
by health, I mean our health on all levels. So our
Okay.
physical health, also our mental, emotional, and spiritual health, right? You, as
Yes.
you
Mm-hmm.
know, we are spiritual beings. We're having a human spirit.
Yes.
We're multidimensional. So
Mm-hmm.
that health is our foundation. And we can only
Yes.
live a life of prosperity as solid as our
Mm-hmm.
foundation. So
Yes.
number one is revitalizing the health. That's the
Mm-hmm.
main conscious choice.
Mm-hmm.
The second conscious choice that I found is looking at this definition of prosperity that we're following, this
Mm-hmm.
definition of success,
Mm-hmm.
and asking yourself that hard question, is it somebody else's definition that I'm
Yes.
striving after?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or
Yes.
is it mine? Is it coming from my heart and soul? Is this
Yes.
what true success means to me?
Yes.
And it was only when I made those two decisions, started looking at it that way, and then started taking conscious steps on my physical health,
Okay.
on releasing the stress for my mental and emotional health,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
for tapping into who I truly am for my
Mm-hmm.
spiritual health. When I
Yes.
started intentionally saying, this is my foundation, this is my base.
Yes.
And I looked at, okay, what does success look like for me? How do I define it for me, define it and redefine it for me?
Yes.
And putting
Mm-hmm.
those together,
Uh-huh.
that's when all of a sudden my life felt like it was in alignment, and I
Yes.
started attracting the clients that I
Mm-hmm.
really wanted to work with and making the
Yes.
impact and the difference that I feel that is mine to lead in this world. So,
Yes. You just spoke chapter 2 of my book, The Soul of
oh,
Prosperity, where we have let our outer environment, what those expectations are, and what success was depicted as on television as the American dream, guide us to a place where we were outwardly successful and inwardly miserable and
that's exactly
literally dying inside, right?
yes, exactly, exactly, and I love that, and I love that you're using the word "dying inside" because
Yes.
we often don't realize that
Yes.
that is literally kind of what is happening. Like, you look
Yes.
at and especially for those of us who are African American, like, we look at some of these conditions that show up, we think they're just age-related conditions, like our blood
Mm-hmm.
sugar or our blood
Mm-hmm.
pressure, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't realize that they are the risk factors for heart disease. We don't
Right.
realize that heart disease is the number one leading cause of death, right? So
Right.
when you said the words, "We're dying on the inside," it's
Yes.
yeah, on many
It's
different
true.
levels, but it's true, right?
And one of the key stressors is conflict. And when
Yes.
there is this huge disconnect between who you really are and the costume that you have to put on every day because you think putting on this costume, whatever it is,
Yes,
based on
yes.
other people's expectations,
Yes.
Putting you when there's a disconnect between the costume and the soul, that's an internal, perpetual, and deep conflict that
Yes.
can only cause stress, that
Yes.
can only cause you to wither away
Yes.
inside.
Yes.
And one of our viewers, Lorraine, identifies so strongly with everything that you said. She mentioned that she was she was responding to her ex-husband's definition of success. And when
Yes.
you talked about your story, she said, "Oh my God, other than the brother thing, this woman is telling my life," like that old Roberta Flack song, strumming my pain with his fingers,
Oh, right.
singing my life with his words.
His words. Exactly. Yeah.
Yes, so there are so many
Yeah.
who have moved on the path of outwardly defined prosperity and moved away from the inner prosperity that would bring them the balance, the peace, and the joy in every aspect of their lives. Not only professional prosperity, but also spiritual prosperity, mental prosperity, relationship prosperity, logistical prosperity, having a healthy, vital, vibrant life that works for you. And
Mm-hmm.
we're going to talk more about this. And we're going to give people an opportunity to ask additional questions of you when we come back from break. So for now, we're going to go on break here on the New Thought Media Network.
Choice, your creative superpower. We have the power to manifest as we dedicate attention to our thoughts, but often miss opportunity to achieve the greatest good. Your superpower is waiting to be unleashed to unlock a fuller, more rewarding world for all. Join us every Thursday at noon Mountain Time for Choice, your creative superpower with Zoe DeMuro.
Please help us say thank you to our organizational sponsors, including the Hepperland Foundation, Affiliated New Thought Network, International New Thought Alliance, Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, New Thought Philadelphia, Planned Happiness Institute, Summit Center for Spiritual Living, One Heart Retreats, Center for Spiritual Living on the Lake, Unity Spiritual Center, Kitchener, Om Center for Spiritual Living, La Mesa, Satya Center, Center for Spiritual Living, North Jersey, Unity of Savannah, and Center for Spiritual Living, Seattle, as well as all of our individual donors. Thank you for making New Thought Media Network a place to be. Please come be you. And remember, like, share, and subscribe. New Thought Media Network, positively inspiring.
back here on the Miracle of Prosperity on the New Thought Media Network. And we're back with Xonna Clark, who has worked with so many people to help them to align their soul's purpose with their professional experiences to live a more vibrant, full life and to experience a broader realm of prosperity. Now, Xonna, you mentioned that you work with a number of different clients.
Mhm.
What were some of the key things that were issues that clients brought to you? And what were some of the key ways that you have been able to help these clients?
Yeah, very good question. Most people, when they come to me, they're coming because they have been so stressed for so many years that it's showing up in their body in physical ways. So,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not just a coach, but I'm also a licensed dietitian nutritionist, they're coming because they can't sleep. They are having anxiety or depression or mood swings because their hormones are out of balance.
Mm-hmm.
They have been diagnosed with some type of medical condition like prediabetes, diabetes, or diet or um, hypertension is often a big one that they've been diagnosed with.
Mm-hmm.
Um, or they're just feeling a little out of whack. Maybe they've been eating too much and it's showing up as some excess weight or excess belly fat, and they don't want that.
Yeah.
So, so normally they come in for physical reasons. But because they know that my approach is holistic, I don't just work on the body. We're also working on harmonizing our mind and learning to
Mm-hmm.
listen to the soul. They
Mm-hmm.
also realize that these physical symptoms are tied to something deeper in their
Mm-hmm.
life. They just don't know what.
Yes. Yes. So the first step is, of course, to address the symptom that they present to you. And it sounds like you address that symptom with healthier foods, healthier balances, healthier food choices, and then that moves into healthier lifestyle choices, which moves into which moves into a broader life review. Is that accurate?
Yes, that's kind of a good explanation of it. It is, we do address the symptoms, but we're really looking at the root cause, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we address symptoms because people feel it and they
That's
see
what shows up.
it.
Yes.
That's what
That's what's in
shows
their
up,
face.
right?
Right.
Exactly, exactly.
Yes.
But then
Yes.
we are looking at, what is the cause, the real
Mm-hmm.
cause behind that. And so that's where we do the mindset work, both to
Yes.
calm the mind with either stress relief practices or different
Mm-hmm.
supplements, or I even
Mm-hmm.
have these phototherapy patches that can help calm the
Oh,
mind and help people to sleep better.
yes.
But we're also looking at the beliefs, and that's where
Yes.
kind of the spiritual part comes in, right? It's
Yes.
what is it that we believe about ourselves, about
Mm-hmm.
life, about
Mm-hmm.
what's expected of us that
Mm-hmm.
has led us to these choices that we've
Right.
made, often unconsciously, right?
Okay. So if I can relate this to our viewers, anytime you are feeling the cumulative effects over time of an imbalance, one of the first ways it may show up is in your body in the form of physical symptoms. That may not be the root cause of the imbalance. The symptoms may be your first hint from a whisper to a scream that there is an imbalance that needs to be addressed. So the first thing you do is we address the symptom. What is the symptom I am feeling, and what are some of the ways that I can address it? We can address it through diet, we can address it through sleep therapy, we can address it in so many ways: talk therapy, coaching, counseling, etc.
Mhm.
But addressing the symptom moves us only to the next step. The
Mhm.
next step after the symptom has been adequately addressed is to address the root cause.
Yes.
What is the thought form within me that has created this conflict between who I was created to be and this uniform that I have to wear in the world, because I have believed that if I wear this uniform in the world, I will be okay.
Yes.
And I am wearing this uniform in the world and it fits me wonderfully, and I am not okay. So what's going on here? And it sounds like some of the practices that you suggest, such as meditative practices, mindfulness practices,
Yeah,
give us insights into what could be causing that disconnect.
exactly.
Can you
Yes.
talk more about that?
When you can quiet your mind, the chatter in the mind, the monkey
Yes.
mind, as we say in
Yes.
the yoga field,
Yes.
and yes, you can hear those messages that are coming from your heart and soul as to what is out of balance. What is
Yes.
out of balance? Why it's out of balance? And that was kind of the first step for me. Like
Uh-huh.
I thought I was living a healthy lifestyle even
Yes.
before because I exercised and I thought I ate well, but I
Uh-huh.
didn't have all the pieces of the puzzle together, and that's why it was showing up as physical
Uh-huh.
symptoms. So
Yes.
as I actually left my corporate job and
Mm-hmm.
went to nutrition school and integrative
Mm-hmm.
nutrition school so I could really learn the right things to feed
Mm-hmm.
myself. Um,
Yes.
and as I did that, then yes, it allowed me to have a certain increased level of physical well-being, but I
Yes.
was still out of balance. I was still out of
Yes.
balance.
Yes.
And but that foundation of physical well-being then allowed me to do the meditative practices, to do more of the yoga, to make sure that I was sleeping enough, to take
Yes.
time for self-care, for
Yes.
self-love. And then that calmed my mind enough
Mm-hmm.
that I could get to the next level and I could hear the messages bubbling up that, Xana,
Yes.
you have stuffed your dreams way down deep in your heart.
Yes.
You are following maybe what your parents wanted you to do. Like somebody
Yes.
mentioned, it was their husband's, I think, expectation, right?
Yes.
So often it's
Mhm.
our parents, and then, yes, it's our husbands. And especially for us women, they want us to be successful in the work world, right?
But also,
And also successful at home.
yes.
And then at night, successful in bed,
Yes.
be the perfect women on all fronts, right?
Yes.
And oh my God, what does that? It just throws every aspect of us out of balance.
Yes. Yes. So if I hear you correctly, physical balance is the platform upon which additional prosperity is based.
Is base, yes.
Okay.
Has to be
So,
this physical container that we have is the
yes.
foundation.
So
Yeah.
when you find that foundational physical balance, you are then able to hear the messages. And I want to share with you. Well, what was so cool running into you at hot yoga. It was like, oh, Sarah.
That's what I was like, wow,
As
that's
we were achieving physical balance and equilibrium. But I want to share with you a funny story about someone who achieved that physical balance, then listened to their soul. A woman I worked with years ago, Vernell. And, she was, we were in this heart charging company doing heart charging work. And at one point, she sat down and she meditated. And she said, I want to be a clown. And at first, when she heard her inner self saying, I want to be a clown, she thought she was clowning with herself. But she realized she wanted to be a clown. You know what she did? She went to clown school and
good.
she was never happier.
I love it. She chose joy, right? She
Yes,
chose laughter, right?
yes, yes.
She chose making light of life as her
And
path to life, right?
yes. And she became a very successful clown. I didn't know clowns made that much money.
Yes,
But
listen.
when you're a good clown, she loved what she was doing, and she was a good clown. So she got every party in the DMV, including those in Potomac. Amen.
Yes, I love it. They got the right, the high-paying parties from Potomac.
Exactly. Once you're in that Potomac swirl,
And that's
so
what happens when you find that alignment between the
yes,
body, and then we harmonize that mind, and we learn how to listen to the soul, and we're doing it
yes,
in an integrative manner.
yes,
And yeah, it does open up the doors to creativity. It does open up the doors to a higher vibration so that
yes,
we automatically are drawing to us new opportunities, unexpected opportunities, bigger
yes.
opportunities that, yes, can bring financial success, but it also brings just success to our soul, right?
Life success,
Life.
life balance, life joy,
Yeah.
expressionistic balance,
Yeah.
joy, and peace.
Yes.
And that case study is so fascinating to me because, she felt like she was stepping off a ledge when she left the corporate world.
Yeah.
But you know what? Exactly what you said happened. Her vibration was so raised
Mhm.
that she was able to attract to herself
Yeah.
all of the good that she wanted and more in a
Yes.
way that brought her harmony and joy
Yeah.
instead of conflict and sickness.
Yes. And that's what we ultimately want is the harmony and the joy. That's when we feel truly successful, right?
Yes, that is,
Yeah.
yes.
I've had
And go ahead.
mhm. I
I
was
know you're going to tell me about some of your clients who have had similar success stories.
Yeah, I was thinking of one client who had come to me. I'll call her Patty. And
Hmm.
she had come to me, and she was the caretaker for three in our family. She was a single woman, and she was the
Hmm.
sole bread earner in this family. But she had a mom who had Alzheimer's, a brother who was a
Hmm.
diabetic amputee, and
Hmm.
his son, who was an autistic teenage boy with who
Hmm.
was diabetic as well. And she was taking care of all of those. And when she
Hmm.
came to me, she was like 100 pounds overweight, and
Hmm.
she had all the health challenges that are related to being that much overweight and very unhappy. And so we got her focusing on her health, but we also got her focused on her vision. What was the dream for her life, right?
Hmm.
And it
Yeah.
was the pleasure of this vision that was pulling her forward instead of
Hmm.
feeling like she's just being pushed by the fear of her health challenges, right? She was
Yes.
being pulled by the vision, and
Hmm.
that gave her the encouragement and the motivation and the inspiration to take those baby step, baby step changes to her diet, to her
Hmm.
lifestyle, to her way of thinking. And in
Hmm.
6 months' time, she had lost 70 pounds. We got her numbers down almost to
Hmm.
normal on her cholesterol, her blood
Hmm.
pressure, her blood sugar.
Hmm.
One of her part of her dream was to do a photo shoot so that
Hmm.
she would have the confidence to apply for a position she was interested in. She not
Yes.
only did the photo shoot, but she got the position,
Oh,
right?
wow.
She got the
Hmm.
position. And she
Yes.
felt really good about that, right? She had achieved that dream. She had reached that
Hmm.
level of prosperity.
Hmm.
Now she's taking it to a whole nother level. Now she's
Okay.
really listening to her heart. She left
Hmm.
corporate America, and
Uh-huh.
now she is out there doing her thing. She does Akashic record reading. She's a
Mm.
hypnotherapist. She's a dream
Hmm.
coach. She
Hmm.
following the program that I took her through. She became a dream builder coach as well.
Hmm.
So it's been beautiful just to watch her life, because some people think, oh, leave corporate, become an entrepreneur. That's that's the end, but it's not, right? It's
It's
what are you
not.
doing when you're
Yes.
stepping out there in the world as yourself? What's the
Yes.
contribution that you're making, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
so I love that one story about I have so many stories, but I'll be
Yes.
quiet for a moment and let you.
Yes. Well, that was a wonderful story, Xana. And there's one other thing that I want to unpack from that story, and that is let your vision pull you forward. One of the things about getting healthy balance, getting still, and listening is that you receive a vision from Call it the divine, call it God, call it the universe.
Yes.
The universe has always had a vision for each and every one of us. The
Yeah.
universe has a purpose for each and every one of us. If you call it God, God has a purpose for each and every one of us. And God wants to use each and every one of us for that divine purpose. And once we get balanced enough to sit, we will receive the vision. And there's an important part of this. Along with the vision, we will receive the provision
Yes.
to move forward with God's vision for our lives.
Yes.
And our task is to get balanced, get still, get the vision, and allow the vision to pull us forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's one of the things that you said that I would like, that I really want us to unpack a little bit more.
Yeah.
And and so that people know when they are making a choice, especially if it is a life altering choice,
Mm-hmm.
it is your choice,
Mm-hmm.
but you are not alone in it.
Mm-hmm.
That choice,
Yes.
when aligned with a divine vision, brings you all of the help,
Mm.
all of the support, all of the healing that you need.
Yes. And I mean, you said it perfectly. And it's something for us to trust because it's demonstrated over and over and over again. When you make the decision and you sit and you listen and you get the vision and you step out on faith, the
Mm-hmm.
universe does support you and provide you all the resources that you need. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it may take you in a direction that's not quite what you thought it was going to be.
Yes.
But when you look up, then all of a sudden you're showered with so much more abundance and prosperity and goodness in life than you
Mm-hmm.
thought was possible. And
Yes.
I just love demonstrations of that. I love when my clients come to me, and another client who came to me with digestive issues, and she
Mm-hmm.
just wanted to learn to eat healthier.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that was missing in her life was love, a love relationship. Her husband
Mm-hmm.
had died like 30 years prior, and
Mm-hmm.
she was lonely and feeling like disconnected. And then during COVID, she actually lost both her parents and a sister. So
Mm-hmm.
she was really feeling lonely and disconnected. And one of the things that opened up for her, because she had a vision of doing a greater level community service. She was already on a board of directors of a community health organization, and she wanted to take it in a bigger direction. So as
Mm-hmm.
she got clarity, she went through my membership, and we do the 12-step Dream Builder program in that, which is a proven, reliable, repeatable system for creating a life that you love. She did
Mm-hmm.
that program, and
Yeah.
one of the pieces was the love piece. And now she's found the love of her life, right?
All
So
right.
so not only is she doing the community work that she wanted to be doing, and she's
Uh-huh.
enhanced her health,
Yes.
taking her well-being to a whole nother level, but
Mm-hmm.
she's in love as well, right?
Mm-hmm. That's
that's
a beautiful thing.
that's prosperity.
Like I think it was Michael McDonald. He did a record. Love is a beautiful thing.
Love is a beautiful thing.
so
Exactly.
so that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And
Yeah.
that underscores another point that we like to make here on the Miracle of Prosperity. Prosperity can show up in any and every area of your life. Not just work prosperity, not just love prosperity, not just family prosperity, not just body prosperity, not just logistical prosperity, not just spiritual prosperity, but prosperity in every aspect of your life. How wonderful. How wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah. So it sounds like you've worked with a number of clients and that you've got a proven way of helping your clients achieve their dreams and goals. That is wonderful, beginning with physical stability. Now, I remember your last visit here, where you gave us some very easy recipes to bring us back to physical balance. And what you've done tonight is you've underscored the importance of physical balance as a platform, as a foundation for other aspects of prosperity. What are the three things you would suggest that anyone do to move into or stay in physical balance?
Ah, so first I say start where you are. So it's
Okay.
very important to accept where you are, work
Mm-hmm.
within the constraints that you have right now of your life,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and take baby steps, right?
Okay.
So
Mm-hmm.
many times people will try to jump into a program. They'll
Mm-hmm.
feel overwhelmed by the program. They'll get more
Yes.
stressed and feel like they're starving themselves to death. And
Uh-huh.
then they stop the program. So
Okay.
start where you are, take the
Okay.
baby steps on the
Mm-hmm.
physical level. So that's with your
Mm-hmm.
food, that's with
Okay.
your movement. Second
Mm-hmm.
thing that I would say is work on your sleep.
Okay.
And work on third thing is probably work on your stress. So if you work
Mm-hmm.
on your food, you work on your sleep, you work on your stress. Those are three of the foundations that will get you the energy, the mental clarity, the resilience that you need in order to start to take these other actions towards prosperity.
Okay. And what are some of the things we can do to work on our stress?
So, some of the things that you can do, you can breathe to release stress.
Okay.
So, many of
Yes.
you know of different types of breathing techniques that you can do, but the breath is the breath of life, and the breath is connecting you with the essence of life that is all around you.
Mm-hmm.
And so just doing deep breaths in through the nose and then exhale out through the mouth as if you're breathing out of a straw. With that exhale, you are releasing a lot of the tension from your nervous system. So
Mm.
that's a simple breathing technique. The straw breath is what it's called. Breathing
Straw
in
breath.
the nose. You can breathe in like 4 counts and exhale out 8 counts, making the exhale longer than the inhale. That's a great one to start with for stress. Another one that you can do for stress is working on the vagus nerve. And the vagus nerve runs from the brain all the way down to the gut. And
Yes.
it's like a little massage. And in fact, I can take you through that in like 2 minutes. Would you like
Yes,
to
please
do that?
do. Please do. Because I already did the straw breath, and you know what happened when I did the straw breath?
What
My
was that?
shoulders dropped.
Yeah.
Weight and stress dropped off my shoulders that I didn't even know I was carrying with just two straw breaths. So let's do the vagus nerve.
So the vagus nerve stress starts with our fingers and at a third eye. And we're
Uh-huh.
just going to lightly create some circles.
Kind of
Right
like tapping a little
third
bit.
eye, just very light. It's not like
Okay.
you're massaging the muscle. It's
Uh-huh.
more like you're just kind of brushing the skin. And
Okay.
then we're going to go from the third eye, we're going to go above the eyebrows out to the temple and create
Oh, the
a
orbital.
circle.
Yeah, the orbital bone.
Yeah.
Just caress the orbital bone. Okay.
And then let's come back here to the
Okay.
center, the third eye,
Uh-huh.
over
Okay.
the eyebrow, out to the
Okay.
temples.
Okay. Okay.
And then we're going to come back to the third eye.
Okay.
And we're going to go down the sides of the nose, under
Mm-hmm.
the eyes, to right
Mm-hmm.
above the cheek, like where the cheekbone is, 3
Yeah.
little circles
The,
here.
the bottom of the orbital bone. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
And once again, from the third eye, down the
Mm-hmm.
sides of the nose,
Mm-hmm.
underneath the eye,
Mm-hmm.
and now up this outside of the eye, back to the temple, and a few
Okay.
little simple circles here.
Okay.
And let's do that one more time from the center
Mm-hmm.
of the eyebrows,
Mm-hmm.
down the side of the nose,
Okay.
under the eyes,
Okay.
up the sides of the eyes, back to the temple.
Okay.
And then come out to your ears, start
Okay.
at the top of the ear, Do a
Mm-hmm.
gentle little massage all along the
Mm-hmm.
outside of the earlobe down
Mm-hmm.
to the bottom of the earlobe.
Yeah.
Let's do that one more time.
Okay.
Just gently.
Yeah.
This is a very light touch.
Yeah.
And now come to the inside of your ear
Mm-hmm.
and right above the ear canal, just start at the top and kind of just gently press and walk your finger down to the bottom.
Okay.
It's just that little tiny little section in
Yeah.
there.
Uh-huh.
And then as a final move, just take a hold of the little cartilage here,
Mm-hmm.
and we're just gonna do some light presses,
Like a mini facelift.
like a mini facelift.
Okay.
And then just hold your hands down for a moment and just see how you feel. Take a breath
Oh,
in
wow.
and then take a breath out. Yeah. And it's
Mm-hmm.
said that that vagus nerve, like since it runs from the brain and it runs kind of underneath the skin, that this is
Yeah.
an area where you can actually access it more easily along the face. And
Okay.
so that's just a nice one to do, like, during the day when and you
Yes.
saw it only took us about 2 minutes. Do a few
Yes.
breaths and do
Uh-huh.
this and allow your body to release the stress.
Yes. And it looks a lot less weird than tapping because some of you might realize that many of these areas that we've been working with are actually the meridians that we also work with in tapping.
And tapping, yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
And this is a wonderfully accessible way to
Yeah.
do it. Where I was tapping once in hot yoga, and
Uh,
somebody came over to me and said, "Are you tapping?" I said, "Uh-huh." And what
exactly.
a wonderful place to tap, right?
That it is. In hot yoga, you can do anything there.
You can do anything there. Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, if we, take the baby steps with your food, if
Mhm.
you take time out of your day, maybe twice a day to do these 3 minutes of breathing and something to release that vagus nerve, that's going to help you sleep better at night. And
Mhm.
then, of course, got to move the body, right?
Yes.
So I would say that would be the last piece to kind of connect the dot is that movement of the body in any
Mhm.
way. Our bodies are just naturally designed to move. So
Mhm.
we cannot sit at our desk for 8 hours on
Yes.
Zoom
Yes.
or StreamYard.
Yes.
Move the body every hour, getting up, go up and down the stairs if that's all you have that's accessible. If you're at the office, go as far down the hallway as you can, come back, make extra efforts to move the body. If you can't like do formal exercise, you can still do things to move the body, stretching the body. The yoga, one of my favorites.
Yes. Mhm.
Yoga's been part of my life since like 1990. I've actually gotten certified in like 4 different types
Oh,
of yoga because I
wow.
just love learning about that integrated, holistic approach to
Yes.
our physicalness.
Yes.
Um, so, yeah, so I would say those would be some of the pieces of advice for creating that foundation of health at a
Okay.
basic level. And
Yes.
then once you revitalize your health and you redefine success, so you're
Mhm.
coming from your soul's definition,
Mhm.
not society's, not your husband's, not your parents, and you
Yes.
put that together and you work in an integrated basis, body, mind, and soul, that
Yes.
leads to true soul success. That's your
Yes.
prosperity. That
Yes.
that's the success that makes you feel happy, healthy, and like you're making your true impact in this world.
Absolutely. And that is so wonderful. Our viewers have some wonderful feedback for you. One
Oh,
said, Deanna said, it felt like a tranquilizer.
oh,
Tina said, it just felt glorious. Lorraine just said, oh, thank you, thank you. Tina said, it gives you such a nice feeling. And
oh,
Lorraine just wants to thank you, thank you. It felt real good. Michael also said it felt really good. And
oh,
I can attest to how wonderful it felt.
I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
thank
thank you
you.
so
Thank you
much.
all for sharing that feedback. And yeah,
Yes,
take this out and practice it. Do it every
yes.
day, even if you don't remember everything.
Hmm.
Just let your intuition, let your soul lead you in the journey.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for everything you've shared with us tonight. You've really helped us on our prosperity journey. And some of the key takeaways that we can take from this, for which we so appreciate you, are your physical well being is the foundation for your prosperity.
Mm,
Sleep, move,
mm,
and manage your diet
mm,
to support your physical foundation. Once you are still and your physical foundation is still, you can listen and you will receive a vision. When you receive the vision, you will receive the provision. And remember, part of the provision is showing you your no's so that you can move past them to the yes God has for you and begin defining success for yourself, not based on anyone else's definition, uh, but based on your own criteria for soul success. So we so appreciate the time you've given to us, Xana. And we so appreciate all the things that you offer. And your number's been up as well as your website and your email so that our viewers can take advantage of some of the things that you offer. So what are you working on these days, Xana?
Wonderful. Well, I'm always working on many things. So, so right now I'm offering a 6-week program that is called Revitalize Your Health, and it's helping people go from feeling stressed and overeating to feeling revitalized and renewed. So it's helping to build that foundation of health. I do then take people into a kind of an annual program where we not just work on the physical health, but we're working on the body, the mind, and the soul. That's the holistic system. And that's to help you break that stress to success cycle so that you can have this true soul success, this soul aligned level of success that you've been seeking in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And in January, I'll be offering a retreat, a 3-day
Oh,
retreat.
wow.
So I do one in Tega Cay, South Carolina, which is a lakefront community. Um, but I love the retreats. I call them Revitalize, Release, and Renew. And that is where we come together and we are releasing everything that no longer serves us, whether it's
Mm.
physical, mental, emotional. We then revitalize with wholesome food. It's culinary workshop as well,
Mm-hmm.
so that when we leave, we can rise and feel renewed.
Oh, wonderful. That's exciting.
Yeah. And Reverend Jim, what are you up to these days?
Oh, well, I'm always up to no good, but the good that I'm up to is a new workshop that I just got downloaded from Spirit. It's called Create a Self-Manifesting Vision Board. And it's based on my book of the same name,
Oh,
but what I discovered is the difference between a vision board that sits in your closet and collects dust and a vision board that manifests itself. And the difference is as follows. A vision board that collects dust did not integrate God's vision for you. And so, what I do is I help people to integrate God's vision for them, which may be grander and slightly different than the ego's vision. I also work to help people to integrate their vision board into their daily spiritual practice, to integrate a powerful spiritual creative energy into their vision board. And I help them to make sure that their vision board is God's vision and not society's vision for them. And so these are some of the many components that make a vision board self manifesting. So I'm doing a 4-hour workshop on Saturday, December 9th called Create Your Self Manifesting Vision Board. And this 4-hour workshop will take us through all of that. All you need to do is bring a piece of poster board. Because what I've done is I've got templates that you can actually use that I'll send you as we do the different sections of the vision board, that you can type in what you receive from the meditations. And you can quickly go on the internet and pick up a picture based on your vision, put it in the middle, and by the end of the session, you will have a self-manifesting vision board based on working with the guidance, the energy, and the grace and the vision of God. So that's on Saturday, December 9th, from 1 to 4 p.m. It's on Zoom, and it's $75 to participate interactively. If you just want the recording, it's $20, and it's going to be a wonderful time. Like James Brown said, we're going to have a funky good time. So that's what I'm working on, and I'm so looking forward to it. And I have to limit the number of slots because it's interactive, and so I want to make sure that everybody gets a high quality experience. And because I want to make sure that everybody gets a high quality experience and have to limit the slots, I suggest that if you're interested, you sign up sooner rather than later before it sells out. So that's what I'm up to. And so I'm looking forward to a wonderful holiday season. I'm hoping and praying and knowing that you are too, Xana. So I
Yeah.
want to thank you for being our guest tonight here on the Miracle of Prosperity on the New Thought Media Network.
Thank you. Well, I am so appreciative of you, Reverend Jim, and of this network and this community. And I love that you bring me on in any way that I can get these words of wisdom out into the world so that, yeah, people can find that joy and that peace and that well-being and that prosperous life that's so meaningful to their heart. And I feel like I'm living my purpose that God's designed for me. So thank you for this opportunity and for the gift that you are to this community and to this world.
Thank you and God bless you. We will have you back again here on the New Thought Media Network. Good night.